Like and subscribe to our channel, Fabulous Pattaya Media Group, by using the link below. And early this morning, Monday, the CCSA released figures for today. 17,970 new cases established within a 24-hour period and 178 deaths associated with COVID within the past 24 hours. Over the weekend, we saw close to 37,000 new reported COVID cases nationally, with 311 deaths. That's 311 deaths exacerbated by the virus. Sunday reports indicated 13,402 people released from care after recovery, but 205,000 in care, 4,765 in ICU, and over 1,000 on ventilators. According to the Ministry of Public Health, had we not had the lockdown restrictions, COVID cases could have exceeded 40 to 45,000 daily. This as restrictions have been extended as of yesterday, with expectations that they'll remain in effect at least through the month of August, amid calculations that lockdowns will contribute, along with vaccines, to a peak of perhaps 25,000 a day, but extending through to November. Thailand's Finance Ministry has slashed its 2021 economic growth forecast for the third time this year to just 1.3%. Citing the tourist industry, the ministry predicts just 300,000 pairs of feet arriving here in total this year. To put that into perspective, 2019 saw a reported 39.8 million visitors. So this year is predicted to see under 1% of the count of 2 years ago, actually 0.75%. And that's where the tourist industry is today, in the deepest of holes, without much of a ladder for the whole of 2021. We now go to an abbreviated version of the English language press briefing from the CCSA, which includes details of the now in effect programme of vaccination registration, available to all non-Thais regardless of age or visa type.
The Prime Minister was reported on the various efforts, and the priority group in Thailand would remain the medical personnel, those in the front lines, as well as all the other groups that we have laid out, including, of course, the general public. The Prime Minister stressed on the enforcement of the bubble and seal approach in various workers' campsites, and also Saturday, 194,342 doses of vaccines administered, increasing the accumulated number of vaccination in Thailand to over 17.6 million doses. And starting today, the Health Ministry had adjusted the distribution plan by providing vaccination services to people aged over 18, so actually the general public. Many of you have heard that this applies also to foreign residents in Thailand. The CCSA approved the allocation of 150,000 doses of US-donated Pfizer vaccine to foreign residents in Thailand. And the Ministry of Foreign Affairs had launched the new online platform for foreign residents in Thailand to register for the first dose of COVID vaccine. This platform, expatvac.consular.go.th, for the general foreign resident population around the country as well. With priority given to vulnerable groups, the opening of this registration is open to foreign residents of all ages living in any province in Thailand. Registered foreign residents will be notified of the dates and the vaccination sites in accordance with the level of risk and location of residence. Foreign residents aged 60 to 74 who previously registered with the Foreign Ministry's platform, this was for the Bang Su area, will have their records transferred to this new website and will be directed to the vaccination site. And of course, on the vaccination date, you have to bring all the official documents. And this morning when we opened this portal at around 11, there had been some minor glitches to the website. We apologize for that difficulty because many people were registering at the same time, but that has been taken care of already, and many have been successful in registering in this portal. Tighter disease control measures would be effective from on the night of Monday, the 2nd of August, midnight. This will be evaluated every 2 weeks, but possibly this will be extended recategorization of zoning areas in Thailand. If you recall, we had the dark red zone, which is the maximum and strict controlled area, Bangkok and nearby provinces. This group has been increased in terms of the number of provinces. So from 13, it is now 29 provinces. The meeting today also came up with some changes in terms of the restriction to contain COVID transmission. Curfew remains at 2100 to 0400 hours, but no public transportation services across provinces in the dark red zone are allowed. No public gatherings of more than 5 people. Phang Nga province also announced the closing of its borders to the general public, in terms of domestic general public, from the 3rd to the 16th of August 2021, following suit with Phuket. Entry to the province by land, air, and sea domestically is prohibited. And exceptions to this ban on entry includes ambulances, transportation for medical supplies, important appointments like court appointments or people on official business. And people entering this province must also be vaccinated and have proof of a negative COVID test within 72 hours prior to arrival.
That then from the CCSA. And that website, well, it did indeed crash within minutes yesterday, telling all applicants that their email was already in use. But by mid-afternoon, despite that message, the same applicants, in most cases, received links to enter their details and were accepted. Not with the date for vaccine yet, but at least on the list. And if you were one of those people, go and check your email and check your spam. Meanwhile at home, and our own province over the weekend reported over 2,200 new detected cases of COVID, along with 7 associated deaths. Seeing the Governor announce a community isolation program that may take over currently disused school buildings and similar to accommodate those with the mildest of symptoms and those deemed to be asymptomatic. And this morning, Monday, Chonburi province has reported 1,141 new cases, Banglamung showing 208, Chonburi City 279 and Sriracha 291, with Satahip at 74. Still no announcement of an increase in vaccine supply numbers for this province, despite it ranking in the top 4 provinces for the illness, which has enraged both City Hall, business operators and the public. But there is a glimmer of hope as the Governor expects larger numbers of vaccines this month. Poverty here has taken a serious toll on people, especially those who work paycheck to paycheck in low-paid jobs, but now extending to people from all walks of life, as hotels and mall shop workers are either on a pittance or zero income, following thousands of closures here. In the streets, life after dark sees mothers, children and whole families camping in doorways, alleys and even drain pipes. This is not an exaggeration. Without fund for travel, and in most cases travel not available to get to their homes or villages, where they'd be unwelcome and quarantined anyway, many simply left it too late to leave, and now join the well-publicised queues for the chance of a meal or food parcel. Welfare for this region is a sick joke, as most are finding that government plans which service the capital and closer provinces have not been extended to this seemingly forgotten province. In Rayong province, it's been a yo-yo weekend, seeing numbers of detected cases rising, the Governor stating clearly that he would not implement lockdowns and curfews, and road checks on the main arteries into Rayong province unmanned. By 2 o'clock on Sunday, Rayong was added by the government to the list of high-risk zones, and all state-implemented lockdowns affected to Rayong too. No word on how this will affect Koh Samet, which has been doing pretty well since all residents were vaccinated, but is within Rayong province. And those road checks were being manned with a kilometre tailback as of 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon. The curfew regulations are in full effect in Pattaya and the province, and proof was evident at the weekend when several dozen Thais and foreigners were arrested for being out after 9 o'clock without documents showing a valid reason. With all taken to Pattaya police station, it's assumed they spent some time in the luxury of the accommodation there. Punishment enough, we're told, as facilities are less than homely, but then they will have either been fined or prepared to go to courts. And with the Met Office promising highs today of 34, dropping down to 30, an overcast day with rain at some time, Local and national news today from Fabulous 103 FM and Fabulous Pattaya Media Group. And to get a notification every time we release another bulletin or programme,